Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Warren Wolf for Mr. Borja.
Are you Mr. Borja?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
We have.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Borja, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did
Yes.
you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of, I'm sorry. Oh, it's going to be one of those days already. I feel it. Mr. Borja, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
Mr. Borja, I'm showing you what's entitled Court's Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged by indictment with possession of a controlled substance? Penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams. That's a second-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea, gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Borja, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, the state recommends deferred adjudication. They're asking for $57 restitution to SAPD for drug testing. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there many such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 5 years and that there be a TAP evaluation. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State any evidence to support the defendant's guilty plea?
Your Honor, I offer State's Exhibit 1 in the attachments.
No objection.
All right, state, you may continue to confer. Mr. Borja, I'm showing you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence state's exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. All right, proceeding with sentencing.
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, he is a native of Guam, which is a U.S. territory. He's moved to Texas for the last 2 years. He's been actively working, currently employed at Hollingsworth the last 6 months, previously at J.B. Hunt. This is an aberration, and we ask that you follow the plea bargain. I asked him if he would test positive for any controlled substances today, and he said no. And I believe I explained to him the requirements of a drug-related probation, deferred classes, testing, and he understands them fully. And I believe he'll be able to successfully complete the terms of a deferred and even hopefully come in sooner and ask for early termination. I explained that to him as well.
All right. So, do you have any criminal history?
Parole history?
I'm sorry?
You said parole history?
Criminal history.
No.
Have you ever been charged with any crime other than this?
No.
All right. When you're drug tested today, and you will get drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Negative.
All right. When's the last time you used?
That would be
And that would be an illegal.
No. When's the last time you used drugs?
a month before this happened.
So you're telling me you were riding around with drugs in your car and you hadn't used, and that officer is saying you had a lighter underneath your leg?
It was in my car.
Yes. So when's the last time you used drugs?
A month before.
I'm sorry?
A month before.
So you hadn't used
No,
drugs
the
that
lighter
day?
was for my cigarette.
I'm sorry?
The lighter was for my cigarette.
So you're saying that you have not used any drugs since a month before this incident?
Besides marijuana.
That's a drug. So when's the last time you used marijuana?
That would be the day of.
All right. So let me explain something to you. I'm trying to figure out what conditions to give you, because I don't do cookie cutter conditions. Everybody doesn't get the same thing in this court because everybody's an individual. So we're going to start back over. I'm inclined to grant your application for deferred, but I need to know what type of candidate you would be on deferred. And if you have a drug or alcohol problem, I don't want to send you out in the world with you telling me you have a drug problem. I'm like, just do whatever. But if you tell me that you're going to test negative, I am going to test you. And if it ends up being positive, we're going to have a problem. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So when's the last time you used? And I'm just asking for honesty here, because I'm trying to give you conditions on probation that will help you successfully complete your probation. That's my job. If you have a drug problem and you tell me you have a drug problem and I don't give you any help for that, and you fail with drugs, that's on me. But if you are dishonest with me and you fail on drugs, that's 100% on you. So are you going to be positive today? Oh, no.
What?
Excuse me. Are you going to be positive today because you are getting a drug test today?
Yes.
What are you going to be positive for?
I don't know.
All right. Anything else?
That would be all.
All right.
Maybe alcohol.
All right. Alcohol. Anything else?
That would be all.
All right. Before we continue with your sentencing, I'm going to have him drug tested. And then we'll see where we are. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Probation, if we can get a drug test. All right. We're back on the record in 2023, CR 6993, State of Texas versus Nicholas Borja. My understanding, you completed the UA?
Yes.
All right.
He was having some trouble, Judge. He was nervous. It took a while.
Oh, that's okay. It happens. Oh, what are the results?
Positive for meth.
All right. So you didn't mention the meth to the court. So how often are you using meth?
It was in the form
And
of
you're
the
still
act.
under oath. How often are you using meth?
Well, I did that like a couple days ago.
Okay, you need to speak up. I'm
I
sorry.
did that a couple days ago.
All right. So how often do you use?
I'd say weekly.
All right. Why were you dishonest with me? I'm just trying to give you the help you need. I already told you I was inclined to grant your application. If I send you out in the world and you have a meth problem and I don't give you help for that, you're going to be right back here on a motion to revoke because meth is illegal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So are you employed?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do?
I work at Hollingford. We package Ford parts.
Okay. How long have you been doing that?
6 months.
All right. Do they drug test?
Yes.
And you're passing their drug test? Okay. Do you live with anyone or do you live by yourself?
I stay with a family friend.
All right. Do you have any children?
No.
How far did you go in school?
High school.
What are you planning on doing with the rest of your life?
Well, I was planning on moving to Florida, but the rest of my life, I don't know yet. Still
Well,
figuring that out.
you say planning to move to Florida. Do you have family in Florida? Or that's just a dream.
I have family.
Who's your family in Florida?
My brother.
All right. Have you talked to your brother? Does your brother want you in Florida with him?
Yes.
All right. What part of Florida?
Sarasota.
What county is that?
I'm not too sure.
See, part of getting ready to move to a place, you got to know what county or parish it is. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. This is what the court will do. Court will sentence you to 4 years deferred adjudication, $0 fine, $57 restitution to SAPD for drug testing, transfer to Sarasota, Florida. I'll have to look up to see what county that is. You are not transferred and you cannot go to Florida until the transfer is actually granted. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. I'm going to want 90 sober meetings in 90 days. A TAP evaluation. We'll follow the recommendations of TAP. If TAP recommends inpatient treatment, we'll start with intensive outpatient treatment. If it recommends intensive outpatient treatment, we'll start with outpatient treatment. And regular UAs. And I say regular UAs, I want UAs on him once a month, but I want them to be random once a month. Okay. Oh, then I guess I should have said random monthly UAs. That makes it easy, right? So we'll do random monthly UAs because I think he is able to beat the test at his job. So we're going to do field visits 1 time per month until transfer. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. And I'm putting that down because until you're clean and sober, you should not be around minors. You understand?
Yes.
All right. Well, you can be around minors, but there has to be an adult supervision. Once you're clean and sober, and that's been brought to my attention, then that may change. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Probation. Is there anything else he needs? All right. Is there anything you need from the court to be successful?
No, ma'am.
You sure? Any mental health issues that you need addressed through probation or anything of that nature? Any trauma?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, And because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. From here on out, everything that you do, you need to ask yourself two questions. One, is this something that could result in me going to prison for 20 years? If the answer is yes, don't do it. If the answer is maybe, don't do it. And the next time you're before a judge or before me, when somebody is trying to help you and you think they're trying to help you, you need to be honest with them. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.